We have the Onyx Boox Max Carta versus the second generation Sony digital paper. It's the DPT-RP1. First, let's take a look at the hardware.
So we're going to look at the Onyx first. This is a much different looking 13.3 than a lot of other ones because we actually have some physical buttons here. We have a more left, right, and back button. Nothing happens on any of the sides. It's all nice and clean except for this nice little stylus loop that Sony has done away with. I'll show you in a sec. Nothing on the top. Everything fun happens on the bottom here. And this is where you'll find the micro USB, the micro SD, the microphone, the power button, and the 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as a speaker on the back here too. This has a touchscreen layer for the pen, has no touchscreen layer for any sort of infrared or capacitive or anything else. You need to rely on the stylus. The stylus itself has a button for future upgrades. It currently has no function. The pen nib pushes in a little bit, yet has no levels of sensitivity. And you have an eraser function on the back, so you can scribble on the page and erase what you've written. The Sony DPT is very, very nice. You have a touch layer for your finger. I press that. You have a flexible, super flexible, not only e-ink screen, but body. You can see here in the corner. You can actually pull that in a little bit. Don't bend it. You have the nothing on the sides except for the magnet loop here, a magnet snap for your stylus. You can stick that in there. We find that it's kind of weird because every time you put it down, the stylus pops out. You have a loop for an accessory. Nothing on the bottom, nothing on the side. Everything fun happens up top here. So you have the reset button, the power button, and the not audio, the micro USB. This has no audio capabilities on this.
Now, the Sony does have a dedicated home button at the top. Unlike the Onyx, it doesn't have like a UI and navigation system. It pretty well will show this menu whether you're in portrait or landscape mode.
Right. The Sony stylus is quite nice, although you do need to power it. The Onyx does not need power. You do need to charge this one. You do have a tip that is removable. Both plastic and graphite tips are included. You have a highlight button and an eraser button. So very nice stylus.
Let's take a look at the UI.
So on the Onyx, it has a dedicated home screen. You have like a clock. You have library, storage, apps. You can browse your apps. Sorry, this always takes a little bit of time.
It has Google Play, so you can install like apps like from Google Play.
The main thing about the Onyx is you've never really known if you touch something or not. There you go. So yeah, you can look at your apps here. You have like a home menu. You have like a dedicated home screen.
With the Sony, you really don't. You just pretty well have things that you can go return a document, all documents, and things like that.
So if you were to go to your documents on the Sony, this is actually as far back as you can go before you can only go forward. I mean, there's nothing else before this.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that Sony has a touchscreen layer.
Oh, absolutely.
So you really don't need the stylus to like read PDFs, to swipe turns and things like that.
So we've matched the pen thicknesses. Neither of these devices have pen sensitivity, so it doesn't matter how hard you press. We're just gonna write some stuff and then do some tests. So
okay, we pretty well wrote them at about the same speed.
Right.
Let's try to do like 3 lines underneath like hello.
Okay.
Just to see the responsiveness.
So with the, I do like the speed in which this writes. I mean, it's very like accurate. It's very nice. When it comes to erasing, it's a little hit and miss. Like you don't really know. See, I didn't even touch that over there, and it's gone, and I erased e-reader, but it's still there. So I don't really know what I'm clicking, but we do have another option. We have this down here where you can click erase, the eraser icon, and then you can go over things with that. I want to show you something the Onyx can do that the Sony actually can't, is shapes. So if you want to do like a lot of graphing and stuff like that, you can draw triangles and you can draw circles and stuff like that, whereas Mike would actually have to do it freehand. So that is where the Onyx comes in a little bit of an advantage. Also, if you click, for some reason, a t-shirt, you can get backgrounds. So On the Sony, you have to side load in your own backgrounds, which is great because there's thousands to choose from.
And the backgrounds are in essence PDF files.
Right. And on the Onyx, you have preloaded ones, so you can choose like, you know, music notes. It takes a couple clicks to get anything done. Okay, we're gonna do some note taking now. So let's do some scribbling. You can be like, oh, it's important. Remember this for tomorrow's test, all that kind of stuff. Now we'll do some erasing with the Onyx. You got to flip it over and erase it. The whole screen flashes kind of maddeningly as you erase things, and you're not really sure if you've even crossed it. I crossed over this 20 times and it's still there. So yeah, it's not the best experience with the eraser bit. You do have an erasing on the back here, and you have different settings and whatnot, so you can't just draw anytime you want on the Onyx like you can on the DPT, because you have to go out, change the page, click back into it, click notes, click scribble, click out, and then you can write. So it's a couple more steps.
Sony, you just write. You don't really have to do anything.
Because of the touch layer, you can interrupt it by changing the page and then writing away. So the Sony's a lot more intuitive when it comes to PDF editing.
If you look at the same picture side by side, probably say this picture looks better, but the text is easier to read here. One of the best aspects of the Sony digital paper is the 2-page spread. So you could have one document, like our PDF that we were just looking at here, on one side of the screen, and you can write on the other. And you can adjust the pen sizes on the fly. So you saw that the pen size on here was large, but I didn't set the pen size on here. It's still different. So you can actually have 2 different pen sizes for both documents. Editing PDF files, reading PDF files. That's what the Sony specializes in. It has a lot of cool features that no other 13.3 e-reader has on the marketplace. Resolution's good, but I like it how it has a touchscreen layer and a stylus layer. So I could click on things with my fingers, it loads up. The Onyx, relying on the stylus, it is running Open Android, so you can install apps and things like that. So you do have a little bit more flexibility in crafting your own experience. But the Onyx does suffer from performance issues because the Sony, it has limited functionality, but
it does
everything just works.
Kind of the opposite, because this is completely flexible. You can do anything you want on it, but it doesn't do it as well as it should.
That's right. Let us know what you think by dropping a comment below. If you have watched this video, or if you own either of these 2 devices, I want you to weigh in and tell me from your own experience. For GoodEreader.com and a comparison of the Sony DPT-RP1 versus the Onyx Boox Max Carta, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.